What's up YouTube, Kratos here, and welcome back to another PSO2 video. So today's video we're just going to go ahead and do a quick look through the new stuff that popped up on the website, just a couple of articles, and the fact that Dragon's on the way. So it's currently midnight East Coast, 7th, and we've got some articles that popped up yesterday. I was a bit busy, unfortunately, so I couldn't really go over them then. We're going to go ahead and go over them now. So we've got Oasis Scratch, kind of cool. To be honest, I'm not really a super huge fan of the AC scratches around episode 5. A lot of them have to be like night and royalty related stuff, so you guys might really like this stuff. I wish I could find a volume. Oh, I can't find a volume on this. You know what? We'll just do this instead. That's way too loud. Not gonna play the music from it, but I wasn't a huge fan of the outfits around this time frame. It wasn't really things that fit, my character setups, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the recent scratches, but they kind of continue along this lines. You'll see outfits from the different enemy types in episode 5 and things of that sort. I guess I can also use this as kind of like just a check of the channel itself. How has episode 5 been going for everyone? You guys having a good time? I do want to touch on something I'm going to touch on when we get to talking about Dragon in just a moment, but yeah, some of these outfits are pretty cool. They do recolors of a lot of these outfits. On JP, I actually have that recolored as the shadow version, so all the white is technically black on it. That's pretty cool looking. That helmet, though, dude. I know these accessories, the flying swords, I believe they have another set of floating blades, the darker colored ones. The shield's pretty dope. The sword's not too bad either. Those are both accessories, very, very nice. Obviously, you can see that at the very top there. Showing off the gloves and the thigh highs. I mean, we have plenty of those, but hey. More is not a bad thing, right? More hairstyles. Not really a whole lot to be too super excited about when it comes to hairstyles, in my opinion. But if I think actually there's a better hairstyle in the fun scratch than in the regular scratch personally, but that's just me. Kind of funny, I prefer the female version of Stand by 7. Just kind of dead to the world. Super tired. Okay, this dance is a little awkward, but whatever. New cheer is a bonus reward. Not too bad there, but not a whole lot going on when it comes to that. Just showing off new fun scratch. This has got a kind of a cool outfit here. They show off. Nothing too exciting, but just fun scratch stuff. You guys can take a look at this closer. I'll go ahead and make sure to link this in the video description. Oh yeah, they have the other color of it. Yeah, see, they have floating blades and then floating blades B, which is just for the Dark Kingdom. They're only doing it looks like these are nobles, so it's not too bad. The noble power, or noble might, noble precision, and noble casting, I believe they're called, so nothing too crazy there. They do have the fun scratch as well. Like I was saying, I kind of believe the hair in the fun scratch is better than the one in the regular scratch, but they got some cool new accessories. And keep an eye out, they actually have in the fun scratch, I'm pretty sure this is the same one from beforehand. I don't think this has changed yet, but I haven't really covered the fun scratch before, so first time I'm looking at it. The nightclub stuff actually is in this, so this is actually kind of exciting for me. I like the nightclub stuff quite a bit, so cool stuff there. But let's get to the real reason why we were popping over to here. So let's pop back over to the website and head over to Crimson Fellwyrm. So Crimson Fellwyrm's coming up. Dragon basically is what most people end up calling it. So we'll have Crimson Fellwyrm, and it's just a one-time complete. You don't really do it multiple times, just one-time complete. And afterwards, if you complete them and you're high enough level for it, you get a 4-player difficulty rematch, basically is what it's the common term for it, where you fight the Black Fellwyrm, where he has a chance at dropping some pretty pog 14-star weapon, the gear experience knuckles for fighters, dual birds, and the jet boots. These jet boots are actually pretty nice. They make it so those explosions that we always said were kind of terrible and don't really go off very often, this makes it so they go off every single time. So really nice. But anyway, let's get up to what we were talking about. So Crimson Fellwyrm is going to be here. We'll fight Dragon. One quick note, and I'll probably touch on this when I do I'm going to do a video of me going through and actually watching a video, or actually I'm going to record a run of Crimson Fellwyrm and probably make a video out of it and show you guys kind of some of the stuff. But just some early notes, some early things to keep note. Just general DPS wise, the sword and shield that's going to show up, the Lacrim sword, is not a DPS increase. That is primarily for breaking those little blue light up spots on Dragon. I mean, unless your DPS is really bad. I know, like in some cases, Like, I know our runs, our Techer would pick it up after they buffed everyone and then go into doing this, so everyone could just deal damage. Not that their damage is bad, just that our damage technically should be better, in theory. Not everyone's always going to work out that way, but just keep that in mind. But the sword's got a few attacks and has a really big shield. The attacks are just sword swings. You have like sword swings with the regular auto attack button, and then if you charge your PA attack button, it actually charges the sword, then flips it back, and then you'll move towards your target and attack it. That attack is very important for these little blue spots here. You actually want to, and it's you're gonna see one pop up on his chest, you'll see one pop up on his wings, you'll see them pop up on his legs. But whenever you see one of those blue spots, the person with the Lacrim sword actually wants to charge the PA and then hit it, because it actually breaks and turns it red. That way we can actually deal damage to it. So that's just like a quick little tip. That's the case in both Crimson and in Black Fellwyrm. So just keep that in mind whenever you're doing your runs. If you're using the Lacrim sword, please make sure you're breaking this and you're not just running around with it doing nothing with it. But on to the real reason why Crimson Fellwyrm is important. So we'll be dropping Val weapons. Now Val weapons will be a part of a collection folder on the 14th, but for the moment, you'll be dropping them, you'll be getting them from here. Now these Val weapons are important because they're going to be upgrading into your Atlas weapons, like we mentioned beforehand, the 14-star variant. Actually, I'll choose. Oh, they're making the Chrono Stone also drop in this quest too. So you have, if you luck out, you can just end up getting another Chrono Stone, which is kind of funny. But the Chrono Stone's also going to drop in this quest, so that's kind of interesting. Anyway. I don't know why I'm so tired today. I actually slept most of the day, which is why I didn't have this done early on in the day. But they'll be dropping Chrono Stones during the quest. You'll be using a Chrono Stone at plus 35 on this weapon to, and some materials, of course, if you've been breaking down 12, or you've been breaking down your 12 stars. You'll have materials to make your Atlas weapon. And if you've been holding on to those materials for 12 stars, you'll probably have materials extra to sell. So keep that in mind. So why is everyone freaking out over these Atlas weapons? First off, and I wish I had made this sooner and mentioned this a lot sooner beforehand. I felt like I kind of touched on it, but I guess I didn't touch on it enough because it's becoming a bit of a problem. There is no reason to rush into making your Lumiere weapon. Lumiere weapons are, I mean, to be honest, without having the proper S-grade abilities or the S-grade augments, in most cases, they're not actually stronger than their Nemesis counterparts. They're fairly close. And then when you count in having your barrier up consistently, making sure that you have that barrier up for the PP reduction, in most cases, they're not, and they don't end up being better. Their raw stats are really good, but unless you're using that S2 and S3 slot that's on the Lumiere weapon, you're really not getting much out of it. So don't rush into that if you haven't gotten it yet. Just slowly work towards it. It's not a huge deal. Your Nemesis is fine for right now, or your Raven if that's what you're using. Now these weapons are actually fairly easy to get a hold of. You're gonna get them as drops. Now granted, I'm not sure what the drop rate's going to be like when we actually get Crimson Fellwyrm to actually run. We'll find out later on today, of course. But the important part about these is they have S1 through S3 available to them, and they drop with these. They'll drop with S1 through S3. And a lot of these S-grade augments are pretty powerful. They show off an example. So Petal Gleam will increase your potency by 3. I think this is supposed to be percent, but it's a bit of a typo. It'll increase by 3% for 30 seconds. Every time you deal 450,000 damage. So you'll deal 450,000 damage, potency increase for 30 seconds, then it falls off after 30 seconds. You have to deal 450,000 damage again, which is not that much, honestly. So don't look at that too much. But then you have S-grade augments that'll pop up like this. So Descent of the, is it Petalista? When Petal Gleam and any of these other gleams are active, PP consumption is decreased by 14%. So when this procs, you get this effect here. And then when this procs, you'll get this effect here as well. So they're just showing off how sometimes these stack on each other. It just depends on which S-grade augment you're going for, but they're not always going to work like this. Some are just flat damage. Some are going to be PP reduction. Some are going to be critical chance. Some will be critical damage. It just depends on what you're going for. So just read the different augments. There are a lot of different choices to go for. I'm not sure which ones are going to be available on launch, but a lot of them are going to be fairly useful. So keep your eye out. And that's really about all there is to it. Again, Black Fellwyrm is a lot like Crimson Fellwyrm, just damage and a lot less people inside the actual run. And let me think, what else are we missing? We talked about everything, right? I believe these are just the 14 stars they're showing. I'm sure there are more of them that are going to be available. I'm pretty sure it's the other unique 14 stars of episode 5 that are going to be available. So I believe there's like a spear. There's a set of soaring blades that are pretty good. The spear and soaring blades work fairly similar. Basically, when you're in the air, your focus gauge continuously goes up. So that'll be useful for those classes, respectively, Hunter and Bouncer. But there's a lot of different choices that you'll be able to go through. So Crimson Fellwyrm, on the way, I just want to kind of touch on it really quickly here, and toss out a few little nuggets of information. Hopefully I didn't miss too much, or hopefully I didn't miss anything too important when it comes down to this, but that's really all you need to know. Other than that, guys, I can't stress this enough. Don't rush upgrades. I've had a lot of people that have been really kind of on the ball of what should I be doing? It's episode 5. What should I be getting? What should I be going for? So on and so forth. When can I get this? And I mean, like, it had been a week. Like, episode 5 has been out for a week, guys. And people are already looking at getting new weapons, getting new units, getting new everything. Yes, working towards something is a great thing, but you don't have to rush getting into that weapon itself. There's no reason for you to burn SG on trying to reset your collection folders. Just work on something else and come back to it. There's no reason for you to spend tons of money on the market board to purchase multiple copies of your weapon. I mean, granted, if you didn't have a weapon, that's great. But if you've had some stuff already, just work into your next thing. It'll get taken care of, trust me. I don't even have my Lumiere weapon yet. I'll probably end up making my Atlas weapon, and my Lumiere weapon will come shortly after. And then I'll set it aside, and when Atlas EX comes out, I'll have that taken care of. Which that's what it seems like they're doing here for us. They're trying to make us, like, they're trying to set things up so people know that these are going to be making 15-star weapons. So cool stuff there. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, feel free to toss in the comments below. As always, a like on the video is much appreciated, and absolves you half your ad block guilt. The other half is absolved by subscribing. Both are completely free and help me out a ton. If you want to keep up with the content, clicking the bell icon does notify you of when my videos go live, as well as any community posts that I make. And if you're not into either one of those sort of things, you can always hop in the Discord or follow me over on Twitter to get notifications of when the stream goes live and that sort of stuff. But anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Peace out.